So Bryan, you're here for Betfair promoting the World Series of Poker Europe. How long have you been building cards for and stacking cards?
I've been stacking cards about as long as I can remember, but here at the World Series of Poker I've been working for about 5 7-hour days.
Brilliant. So talk us through the structure, if you wouldn't mind, and how many cards did you use to build it?
Well, I've built the House of Parliament complete with Big Ben, and all in all there's roughly 400 decks of cards. Actually, better than half of those are just in Big Ben itself because of the size of it. If you kind of unfolded that, it would actually be a surprisingly larger amount of cards than you'd want to believe.
And how tall is the Big Ben structure that we see behind us?
I'm not entirely sure. I think it's maybe 9 feet tall.
Okay. And has everyone been really well behaved, or has anyone tried to sneeze or throw things at it?
I actually had a guy yesterday who I just happened to notice as he walked by did a really convincing throw, like he threw something, but he didn't. So it's been pretty smooth sailing.
Excellent. And I know that you build with cards, and obviously that's your living, but do you actually play cards yourself?
I'm not a good card player. I pretty much steer clear of the tables when I come to Vegas, but my grandfather, who was a card player, he's the one that actually got me started building cards, and usually, when drinks were being refilled between rounds, he would be building a little house of cards, and that's where I got my beginnings in my card business.
Brilliant. Okay, so what's now that you've done this, we're going to be knocking it down in about 5 to 10 minutes, but what's your next project? And do you get upset when you knock it down? Do you feel like a sense of loss?
I don't really feel too bad about it as long as we get some pictures of it and things like that. And in this day and age, unless it's one of the largest things I've ever made, there's not a whole lot of sadness attached to it. I really enjoy tearing them down and seeing people's reactions. So, and as far as the next big project, I can't actually tell you what my next big project is because it's super top secret. It'll be one of the biggest things I've ever made.
Awesome. And we know you got the world record, but do you have any permanent structures that are still around?
The only permanent structure that exists is one that I glued about 3 years ago, and it's actually hanging in here on the stage at the Rio. It's a full-size, completely accurate replica of the Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas sign that has become so iconic over the decades, and they asked me to recreate it, and it's still hanging here 3 years later.
All right, well, awesome. Thank you, Bryan. I know you've got a website, and everyone can go and see that. And thank you very much for coming and helping us promote the World Series of Poker Europe.
All right, the pleasure's all mine.